Let's talk about the power of fire. Light it up. There is so much depth inside of the 5 elements that are surrounded by nature. And as part of the Intention Monday series, which is about nature and business and all of the lessons we can learn from nature, I want to do a specific series on the 5 elements. There's so much depth to the 5 elements, power, raw power. And I'm getting a lot of my inspiration from just looking at these amazing elements that we have around us. The first one I want to talk about is fire. Over the weekend, I attended a beautiful housewarming, and there was a traditional ceremony going on in the home. And what was amazing and inspiring was the fire, that some rituals were being performed around. And it just got me thinking, because the priest that was performing these rituals started to explain in a lot of detail the actual symbolism of fire. And so he talked about it as a very pure element that cannot be polluted. Think about this for a second. Imagine that water, you could put something in it, it can become polluted. You know, the earth, we can pollute it. Let's say space can be polluted, right? Water, wind can be polluted, right? By putting toxins in the air. Fire, on the other hand, cannot be polluted. Think about that for a second. Imagine, what does this have to do with business and our lives? Hey, my name is Rishi Patel. I'm the founder of Selling in Alignment, where I work with coaches and consultants to reprice and package their services to discover and live their purpose. And fire cannot be polluted. You put something into the fire, it's going to burn it up. Eventually, it may take a long time to do so, but it's going to consume it. And so what I get from that straight away is nothing can stand in the way of fire. It's just going to go beyond all these obstacles. It's going to take some time, maybe, depending on what the obstacle is, depending on what the item is that's put into the fire, right? Or what it has to burn through. But eventually, fire is going to move forward. There's only really a few ways in which you can extinguish a fire. One is to remove air from it, which is another element. The other is to put water over it, which is also another element. So only the elements can extinguish the elements, and only the elements can fuel the elements as well. So again, what is it that's stoking our fires personally? What is it that has us feel lit up, that allows us to go into the week? And this is Intention Monday, so I'd love to hear what your intentions are for the rest of this week. So, and how can you come up and show up as fire this week? Like, what's going to allow you to really level your game up? I can tell you what it is for me, is really just connecting back to the thing I love, the thing I'm the most passionate about. And for me, really simply put, that looks like this love of what I do. In all of the spaces that I show up, the how I show up in all of the spaces that I show up is really, really, really important to me. And I connect so deeply to that as well. So it's Selling in Alignment right now. We're having some clients go through their launches. And these clients are winning in big ways. And it's just phenomenal to see. And that's another element that comes up as well, is like suddenly we're running this launch and we're getting all of this interest coming at us in ways that we've not experienced before. And so what happens naturally for every single person alive, naturally what will come up is some level of limiting belief. And look at fire, because can we use fire then to even burn through that as well? Absolutely yes. And it may not be a physical fire, but it be a metaphorical fire, which you can take and use to burn through even limiting beliefs. Can you imagine the power then you can generate from that? Now we're really talking, because it really allows us to see that fire is just so capable. It's so unending. It's just got an eternalism to it. And again, that ties in with legacy. How can we look at what we're leaving behind in the world, the impact that we want to make? How can we look at that as fire? It's just incredible, isn't it? Isn't it so, so, so powerful? And so again here, fire has the ability to really transform materials, right? Burning away impurities and creating something brand new. So now imagine we have these limiting beliefs, we have these thoughts, We have these things that don't no longer serve us, right? We may get caught inside of the victim mindset where we're thinking, oh, this person has a big ego, this person's talking about me, this person thinks they're all that because they have a big house or a big car, and we may be inside of this space of looking at this person and judging them. And ultimately, even that judgment can be sacrificed into the fire to let that all go and create something new. Because my question to all of that, especially the victim mindset, which I can easily fall into from time to time, is, hey, how is that going to serve me now? And how am I moving forward? And what's the impact I want to make on the world? Instead of focusing on that, how can I just shift my focus over to here? Now, what's this impact look like for me? What's this thing I want to leave behind? And there's a lot of depth and power inside of that. And that's true fire coming to the forefront. And this is something that's particularly pertinent to me because I feel like there's an element of astrology that comes into this as well. As an Aries which is a fire sign, I feel a lot of this, a lot of motivation a lot of the time, and this drive to want to achieve something that's maybe unachievable. And so when I look at all of the ways I contribute in the world, through selling in alignment, seeing these clients win in a massive way, having these launches, and through my martial arts school, which is just such a blessing to have and to be in the energy of these young children and adults and everyone that's training and leveling up their own game, and just be able to facilitate that environment is the thing that creates fire for me and allows me to keep going. And I'd love to know, what's the thing that creates fire for you? Tell me in the comments below. Right? Because this is true passion and true drive, right? Where you really have a look at what's driving your personal fire, right? What's allowing you to stay motivated. And as I said earlier, fire is also the eternal witness. So if you ever attend a Hindu wedding, for example, you'll always see there'll be a part of the ceremony where there's a fire. And so again, there's a lot there in terms of how fire represents an eternal witness, right? It's the witness that never dies. It's the witness that never goes away, right? It's always there. And so it witnesses the wedding as the eternal witness, as the never-ending witness. Isn't that something that you can look at and just look at, wow, there's power there. There's a rawness there. There's such depth and strategy behind what this all stands for. And what can you draw from this and apply into your week? What's the thing that's going to light up your fire this week? Or maybe you feel like, nothing's working right now. And you know what? Everything I've tried doesn't seem to work. I can't get this coaching business to raise its game. It doesn't matter. Every client I speak to is just, a no. And how can we take that and sacrifice the thoughts of all of that into the fire and create something new, right? And it's not, and that is very different from denying the truth, right? That's very different from being in denial. And what we're doing here is not just kind of airy-fairy in the clouds thinking. No, this is pure strategy, right? I've tried this thing. It didn't work. What can I do next, right? And so there's something there. There's a depth there that we can look at, and we can really get some momentum around. So what does that all look like for us? Where's the power in that? And so we carry on, right? We carry on through it all. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that comes. Rather, it is something that we just keep pushing towards, right? We just keep getting better and better.